Hello, Opa. I just figured I would show you a little bit of what I was doing in the bike racing that I'm doing in the app. So right here you can see that right now I'm on the loading screen where I'm connecting into the app called Zwift, and it's found my connections of like my power source, which will control my watts, and the resistance one. So I've got like the Wahoo Kicker uh, thing. It's got my heart rate, and then I just connected right here my cadence sensor, so now I'll be able to make it into the app. Before I take you into the app, I figured I would just show you what the bike setup looks like that I've got going. So right here you can see my little setup right by the door. I've got my dad's bike here, a fan and stuff, and so this is what I'm biking on. This is what I'm looking at when I'm biking, and now I'll go back to sharing the screen. This is the screen loading page where you can click on things. In this case, I'm just quickly going into events and races. And I saw that there was this one called Friday Fun Nights with some dinosaurs on it. I didn't really know what it was when I got into it. Right here, I'm choosing the race of my category and skill level, so I'll only race against other people of similar skill levels as me. And yeah, I'm hopping in, and definitely was in for a surprise on this one because most of the races you're on real bikes and it looks kind of realistic, still gamified. And here I am in the waiting pen, and we are dinosaurs. So yeah, definitely a surprise in that sense. This is called a Friday night fun race, I guess. So it's got some unique things that's part of it. Most races, like I'll show you at a later time, but you're on like real world bikes, and you can upgrade the bikes. The more you ride, the more points you get to go buy real world bikes just for looks and cosmetics of racing type of thing. Anyways, I'm gonna skip to this part to when the race begins, but this is us just kind of in the pens waiting for it to happen. Alright, here we are with 30 seconds before the race. This is actually a smaller race. You can see in the top right there the amount of people. There's only 13 people in it. A lot of times if you race during peak hours, there can be like upwards of 100 people in it, so maybe I'll show you that for the next race that I do. Top left, you can see the amount of watts I'm doing. My cadence is the rotations per minute. My heartbeat at the moment. And you can see some people chatting before the race going on. Other people were confused too. What is this with the dinosaurs? Someone obviously has raced it before, saying this is hilarious. Anyways, we're off and going, and it's kind of hard to tell because normally, my character, I can change my guy's outfits. If he looks unique, I know who I am, and I've got like a little glow around my character. This one, it's a little bit hard to tell who I am. But you'll have to get used to. I guess I got a little bit of a white box around me, and so I'm this guy a little bit off to the left. The white box isn't always there, but yeah, quickly I learned that I guess if you press those boosts, the button at the top right, you get like a boost, so it's now a more gamified version of a bike race, but we're all still having to do these watts, and it looks like every time you go through one of those sprint checkpoints or whatever, you get two more boosts. So not all races have power ups and stuff like this. This one's just meant to be fun, and there I go. I use one of mine um, to stay with it, and I think I've seen people have used like two boosts already, and I'm feeling pretty good. Chasing people down with only needing to use one boost. I'm now off the front, it looks like, because the boost gave me so much speed. Cool things about this though is the game works just like a real bike race, in the sense that if you are behind people, you'll get a drafting benefit, and it'll be a lot easier to bike. You'll have to do a lot less watts to go the same speed when you're out in front. So I'm kind of happy when these guys come past me. I don't know if they used a boost to catch up to me or whatnot, but I am now able to, bike behind them and keep going the same speed with using much less energy. and I think there's like 8 of us all here together. I can see I'm in 6th, and I can see on the right that there's a person right behind me. You can even see him on the map. And then I can see like on the map there's people that are like 1 second, 1 second, 2 seconds behind us, so there's a slight gap between them. And so there's already slight gap separations. We'll see if they can catch us. It can be pretty hard if you lose the front group to really stay with them, but obviously we've got these boosts now that maybe can help you catch up if they haven't used theirs yet. Um, so this is the race, and I figured I'd just show you what I'm doing. I don't know if this will be the first video I share with you, just so you can see a more realistic version of the racing as opposed to wobbling dinosaurs. But yeah, it's a good workout, and I am going to speed up this race a little bit now, so that way it goes at like 2 times speed, or maybe even more. Alright, I have this clip moving at 4 times speed just to speed things up on what the race looks like. But yet you can still see my watts and powers in the top left. I use my boost right before I go through this checkpoint because I know I'm going to get 2 more. I see one other person did the same, and I see one person used a boost right afterwards. So I'm like thinking in my head, I'm going to boost up on this guy over there, and I use this effort to chase them down and get back in the draft. And I just did all that effort, and then this guy boosts away. So I decide, yeah, I'm not going to go do that whole effort again to stay with him. The boost gives me a little bit of speed to come in front of him. Pretty soon we're all together in a pack. And it looks like there's still like 7 of us, maybe 8 of us right here. So out of the 12-person race, it looks like we dropped 4 people. And you know, once you get dropped here, you're never coming back. And so I'm still thinking I'm in a good spot in terms of this race because I've got an extra boost, I think, on a lot of people, and I am going to use it right as I go through the final checkpoint of this lap. It looks to be a 7-lap race. You can see the elevations. It's pretty much a flat-ish race. The hills are pretty small. Everybody boost here. And I decide, you can see I can kick up my watts. I'm going up to like 345, 350 watts now. That's a little bit on the higher end. Decided to chase him down that way to save my boost, so I could always be kind of a boost ahead of everybody. And so now I've used a boost with these guys, but I think they've all used an extra one. And so this is kind of like the strategy involved of now being able to bike and have a game to kind of play. Where most races, you know, there are power-ups, but not like these where you give them boosts. And so this one's very strategic, but also kind of very fun, very unique. And I think very, very much needed, especially on a flat course like this, because on flat courses it can be hard to break away from other people because, you know, draft just like in the real life. Looks like that guy was also saving a boost, so I worked with him. I used a boost to go up this hill right away, which in hindsight I think was a mistake, but I wanted that guy to boost with me and that we could go on like a 2-person breakaway was the thought process. So I thought if he saw that I boosted, he would come with me. I think they ended up boosting to catch up, but I'm no longer a boost ahead of everybody now. And we're all a group. So the strategy involved there didn't work out. He decided to stay with everybody else and use them to work together to catch me, and I kind of realized that and slowed down a little bit because I wasn't going to go on a solo breakaway for the final 3 laps. I think that would have been a lot to try and go for, especially on a flat course. But using that boost early and no longer being a boost ahead of everybody, I think hurt me a bit. A bunch of people had boosts there, and I think soon there's a time when I'll be getting dropped a little bit, and yeah, I don't know. It was nice to know that I had a cushion of a boost, and now I don't. But you know, I'm chilling with this group. It looks like there's a person out in front of us. You can see in the top right on the mini map there's a dot. I'm not sure what happened here, where they just kind of got away from me. They kicked up a gear and I wasn't watching, and so I got out of the draft, and now I'm the boost behind everybody. And this is really where the race takes a turn for the worse, being a boost down. knowing that I'm going to have to do an extra effort to stay with people, and I use it right here to go stay with this group, and I was losing track of who used boosts. I'm not really worried about this solo rider up in front because well, because we've got a group, and like I said, he has to do a solo effort while we're all resting and stuff. So the person in the front of our group might be doing like 300 watts or whatever, while I'm doing like 200, 250. And that person in front is doing 300 the whole time. And it looks like right when we get here, we all catch him. But I assume we all catch him because he didn't use a boost and we all used a boost. So he's in now like that chilling spot of having a boost advantage, it seems. And uh, I'm level, I think, with a bunch of the people I'm with, so that's good news. But there is a guy now ahead of us. I think it's J-Pole, who I've been keeping in mind and like want to mark because I know he's got an extra boost on us. So that's the thought process when we're already on lap 5 of 7. It's a pretty short race. I know we're 23 minutes in. I think it ends up being like a 35 whatever minute race. And yeah, so when everybody else is boosting, I'd rather just boost so that way I can stay in the draft. And that guy used his extra boost, and I don't think he used another one after it, so he's still got a boost on everybody in the field, but you know, I'm still with the pack. I think J-Pole just has one extra boost, and I'm trying to think about it because I want to save, obviously, if I can, 2 boosts for the finish line to be able to go one after another and use that for the final sprint finish, because that's where it's going to be most important, and we're already on lap 6 of 7. And so I'm just trying to think, how am I going to be able to save a boost? Well, my strategy is knowing it doesn't really matter when I use this final boost here. I'm probably going to try and use it right at the finishing checkpoint, but I want to stay with people. But I am going to try and sprint right as we go through this checkpoint, because I know a lot of people like to use it on the uphill right after we finish it. And so my goal is to start picking up the watts here. I'm going to use my boost right as I go through, and I'm just going to pedal hard, because a lot of people are going to use their boosts, I think, on this uphill, and I think J-Pole must have used it here, which I didn't realize. And so all my competitors have used their boosts, while I still have 2, because I just went hard on that uphill and they used the boost to stick with me. And so now when other people use their boosts, I use mine, knowing that I am still a boost ahead of everybody. And I'm going to slow the video down here as we're getting into the final half a mile, to walk through my thought process also as it's coming to an end, and so you can see it in real speed. Alright, so I've slowed it now down to real-time speed, although this is actually the moment where I don't know what happened here. Everybody kind of picked it up a gear, and I kind of got caught off. I wasn't really in the draft, and so now you can see, if you look on the right, how many watts per kilogram I am doing out of output. I'm doing like almost 6, and the person in front is also doing about 6, but you can see like the person right behind him is only doing 4. So I'm having to do the same amount as the person in front just to keep up with them. And at this point, I personally didn't realize that they used the boost to keep up with me at the start, so I thought I was a boost down, and I thought everybody was saving a boost for the finish line. Anyways, I'm able to boost here. I kick up my gears and watts, and I'm able to come through and pass all these people. You can see I'm doing like 8.1 watts per kilogram while they're still only doing 7. Really, I think, I don't know what happened. The guy in front must have used up all of his energy getting away from me at the beginning and not had a sprint finish, but definitely thought I was going to be losing that one when I got caught off guard. Happy to take the win, and happy to show you a little bit about what the racing looks like. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll show you a little bit more about what Zwift looks like later.